Okay, we're rolling. Just don't be a Randy Travis in the back of a cop car.
Oh,
That
oh,
guy.
oh. Wasn't it Randy Travis that like put a hamster up his butt at one point? Or am I just
What?
talking about? Or am I just talking completely something different?
I have
I
never
swear it was
heard
a
this
thing.
at
Maybe it was
all.
maybe it was a gerbil. I don't know. I'm giving it a Google right now. Y'all go ahead and start the
Oh
pod.
man. What's up, boys? All three of us back in the same spot, and it feels good. So,
Yeah, it
for the
does.
viewers, thanks for hanging out. We are post All-Star game, post draft, pre-deadline. We're going to talk about the draft today. But before we do, as always, going to get into a little batter up, and I showed the guys the new features of batter up that we'll get into at a different time. We're going to go into this prototypical white kid swing first.
Oh, I was about to say super fundamentals, super flat planed, letting it get deep in the zone, low finish, sprint out of the box. Ooh, who do you think, Dowdy?
I mean, you said white kid.
You don't think?
And no. And I don't think this is the right answer, but it is the epitome of a white kid playing baseball that I can think of, and he's having a tremendous season. Give me Ernie Clement.
Ooh.
Let's see.
I was about to say that would be an all-time poll if that was the right answer.
Oh, you know who this is?
Hmm.
This is Bobby Witt.
You think so?
I can see it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Got it.
Boom.
That's unfortunate.
Boom shakalaka. That's a
Why is that unfortunate?
It's super chalk. That's why Dowdy likes the deep cuts.
Yeah, deep cuts, but I mean they make it challenging on us. It took me a minute to. Yeah, I think it was the bat, like the wind up too. It's relatively still. There's a small twirl for it.
Yeah,
I didn't think you started that open, honestly.
Yeah,
I didn't
crazy because I watched.
I don't remember starting that open, and that pitcher's front side could not be more flaccid upon finishing. So
I mean,
you deserve to get a tank hit off you.
I watched the swing of him in the All-Star game about 15 times because it was just a thing of beauty.
I watched Ohtani turn on 100 at his letters twice. Like that guy's, of course, the best hitter in baseball.
I beg to differ.
You like Big Dumper?
There's somebody else that won MVP of that old game.
Ooh.
I don't know that I know where he's going. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say
Schwarbs. Not the
Schwarbs.
Not the Schwarbs.
No, for best hitter, absolutely not. But
all right.
Shout out to doing damage actually mattering.
Yeah, that was the worst part of the All-Star game was Schwarber having that success and then just knowing we're going to hear about it from Dowdy.
I was so fired up.
I was this close to sending a screenshot because they were talking about I forget who they were talking about, like their average over the last 2 seasons or something like that. And they were second between like Judge was 3. They were whoever this guy was second. And then first was Luis Arias. And I was like, there he is, batting average king. Love to see it.
Can't argue with it. He can hit
Jonathan Aranda, like literally, he missed the one by a couple of feet. And then past that, I was like, it's over. All you had to do was hit one out. But the look on his face the entire time just felt like a boy among men in that scenario.
I got a recommendation to start on Pickle.
Let's go.
Jacob Wilson. Give it to me. It was so fun seeing him in the All-Star game. And then they mic'd up his dad in the stands.
That was cool.
And I don't like the booth guys talking about their playing careers, but he was talking to Jacob Wilson. He's like, this might date me a little bit, but I faced your dad several times. And he had a career 333 batting average against me, 4 for 12. I'm like, that's kind of a cool pull.
Right. Okay. So righty from the USA, not a shortstop. And he's either AL or NL West. AL as a whole or NL
AL as a whole or NL West.
Right.
Right from the USA. Give me Mookie Betts. NL West, right, USA. Oh, they have him listed as a shortstop.
Shortstop. Yeah. Dowdy, give me one.
Give me Joe Ryan.
Okay.
Boy, did he look nasty in the All-Star game.
Big trade piece that's coming up. Okay, so he's NL West.
Okay. He is NL West, righty, not a starting pitcher. And
like either 26
mid-20s
or 30.
Mid-20s are old.
Yeah.
Let's say. I was gonna say Chris Bryant, but he's not even in the bigs.
Oof, no.
Woof.
Anthony Rendon, anybody?
Whoa.
About Gino Suarez.
He's not American.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Never
right.
Mind.
Right from the U.S. and the NL West.
What about
right?
No, Tommy's too old. Oh, he's a switch
Hernandez
too.
Is not.
Could be a relief pitcher too.
I'm stuck on the Dodgers right now, and it's really irritating me.
I was about to say, please don't be Giants.
Or Rockies.
No.
I think it's Colorado, and it's going to be really annoying.
Tommy Edman?
No, he's a switch hitter.
That's a switch.
Shit.
That's a switch. Will Smith is a switch too.
No, he's not. Will Smith is righty, isn't he?
Yeah, he's right. He might be like
Ooh.
28 or 30 though.
30?
30?
So it would have shown up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It
Mm.
was a decent poll.
Let's eliminate. We know it's not a starter. Tovar's not from the U.S.
What's oh my gosh. Dodgers reliever that's been starting games too.
Kasperius?
Yes. How old is he?
26. But it'll cross reliever off and it'll give us if it's the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
so it's not a pitcher.
Not an arm, but it is NL West.
And it's not the Dodgers.
And it's not the Dodgers. I think it's going to be a Colorado guy, and I'm really not excited about it.
Yikes.
Is Brenton Doyle a switch hitter?
I don't think so. I do think he's 26. Oh, 27. Wait, 26 didn't even come up. He's old. We have an old player here.
Okay.
Old or 18, one of the two.
Giants too. I'm thinking of
Verlander.
Lefty.
Verlander.
Ooh. But it would have given us a pitcher, right?
Oh, that's right.
That is right.
So not
Starting
Verlander.
pitcher, and it's not a pitcher at all.
No. I was just trying to think of old still playing in the West.
Tatis would not be. Bogarts is not U.S. Is he?
What about Matt Chapman? Fran.
I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 32.
30.
So it might
I think
be.
he's around my age, 31.
Yeah.
Like he's not old, but he's like 32.
Dang. Okay, it's not San Francisco though, and we're close on
It's
age.
a 3.
He's
It's
a third
3B.
baseman.
We're close on age. Okay.
Machado,
If that's the case, I'm guessing
Machado? Are they going to say Machado's American?
I think he did get citizenship.
Okay.
there's no way that he's in the it gives him U.S. If so, that's extremely. Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
Generous.
is. It's
Wow.
Machado.
Boom. That's a what a curveball. Because you think Machado, like he's played for the. Did he play for the DR in the World Baseball Classic?
Puerto Rico or
Something
the
like
DR. I
that.
can't remember.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
all right.
Sneaky pickle, but
Sneaky pickle. I guess that makes up for the chalk Bobby Witt batter up.
I know.
Fair.
Okay.
Gave us the old sneaky pickle.
What up, y'all? Clontsy here to talk to you about the tiny ball players in your life. I'm talking about the little firecrackers that just pop off and make big spectacles on the diamond. Specifically thinking about a 5'7", 5'8" second baseman for the Red Sox back in the day. Dustin Pedroia, we call him the Laser Show. P winner, grunt, dirty jersey, just grit ball player. Look, Baseballism's got a new collection out specifically dealing for those tiny but mighty guys called the Laser Show. So go to baseballism.com, get you a t-shirt, get you some of these Air Mesh shorts. They are fresh for the summer. And when you're there, take a look at the Baseballism Bump Box Combo. This thing is beautiful. It's perfect for the diamond. It's perfect for the beach. Take it with you. Don't play any of that garbage. No one wants to hear Taylor Swift anymore. No one likes bro country. Get that crap out of here. Put some King George, maybe some Kendrick Lamar, some ball player music on this thing, and practice and get better. Create some of this lasers for the laser show. Go to baseballism.com. Use code PenPals at checkout for 15% off. Let them know that Clontsy, Duke, Dowdy have sent you. So draft happened. It happened. Not overly exciting on this one, in my opinion, but still worth monitoring regardless.
Sure.
I'll be honest with you guys. I kind of expected the mentality, and something I've been watching for through the whole process is that how NIL will affect baseball through a lot of this. And so my thought process is baseball is still, I think, the only major sport where you can go directly from high school to the pros.
Yep.
So inevitably, I mean, teams still draft guys out of high school for sure. Majority of them come out of college. But as a GM, player development, whoever's looking at these guys making decisions, I'm expecting them to maybe see guys that go to college as less risky, which we've already established. Yeah. But because of the NIL aspect of it, I mean, what's more dangerous than giving a 17-year-old six figures, $1 million plus, and expecting them to be wise with it and not act a fool, to grow up like that?
Yeah.
They're not going to do it, right?
And on the same token, I'll say NIL has caused a lot of players, whether you're you're coming out of JUCO, you're a draft eligible sophomore, meaning you're just 21 years old before the NFL or MLB draft, or you have an extra year. You're a junior going into your fourth year in a Division I to Division III or NAIA. It causes you to think of the draft a little bit different, because a lot of these schools, especially the mid majors all the way up to the Power Four, are offering NIL incentives of some kind. So now all of a sudden you look at your draft slot, and if you're not going in the top 15 rounds, you look at that slot money and say, am I worthwhile just staying in college and developing another year and collecting another year of NIL and then taking my shot at the draft next year, versus before NIL money was the thing, getting that big league signing bonus, whether it was first round 1-1 or 40th round or even undrafted free agent, was your shot, was your payday in the immediate future. It's just caused players to think a lot differently. I mean, I can't even think of the last time something like this happened, especially for the University of Texas, where they had three not highly touted blue chip prospects, but three like very solid college players opt out of the draft and come back to college for another year in Max Grubbs, Luke Harrison, and Ruger Riojas. All three have big league stuff, but all of them said, I mean, they're evaluating. Luke Harrison is a lefty at 88, 91. I mean, I love him to death, but the game is passing pitchers like that by. But Ruger Riojas and Max Grubbs are both low mid 90s guys, sinker slider, sinker sweeper, whatever you want to call it. But they decided to come back another year because their draft evaluation, they weren't top round guys. So that makes NIL makes you think a little bit different, where I can collect a bigger bag at Texas than take my slot money and then just try to go all in for one more year, increase that draft stock. And if you don't, well, you're no worse for the wear, because you're going to get your shot at some point.
That, and I'll make the argument as well, as you can't tell me developmentally, guys playing in conference with guys, your Gage Woods, your Cade Anderson, developmentally, I think there's a level of maturity as far as the ball player that you get by going to college, that these guys coming out of high school, they've been champs probably the entire way there. There's going to be a reality factor that hits them once they get into the pros.
Sure.
And so I looked for that kind of when going through figuring out who the biggest winners and losers were, and noticed that a lot is kind of who took X amount of high schoolers, that sort of thing. So
absolutely. And I mean, kind of what I was saying when I was going through and looking at all of the like different teams to see, you know, what their draft score was or who they took in the mid-late rounds, I'm used to seeing, you know, the middle back end of the draft being predominantly salty college guys that they can go and throw an 18th round pick on, send them to rookie ball or high A ball, see how they develop, put on a 3 to 7 year track to the big leagues to fill a roster spot in the minors and see how they develop. You're not investing a ton. But there were several teams that went more heavy into high school players, even in later rounds.
Yep.
Just because the pickings, well, this is a how dare I say, flaccid draft for the most part. Like very top heavy with the college talent, very arm heavy, not a lot of offensive talent in this draft from the college side. I mean, star-studded offensive talent. But to see that swing, that was unique. That was different.
Yeah. We'll get into it then as far as biggest out of all the prospects, whatever round you pick. If you want to do a deep dive, I didn't. I took a very chalk pick on this. But is there a guy that, based off the organization they went to, you're sitting here going, oh, yeah, this guy's going to hit? Like, chalk pick, this guy's set up to succeed. This is not quite a slam dunk, but worth betting on.
So, do you want to lead it off, or do you want me to go ahead?
Let's let Dowdy do it. He's quiet.
Dowdy, come on. Let's hear it, Dowdy.
I think y'all are going to be surprised, not by the team, but by the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, player that I think is a best fit, situationally, team, organization, how they develop these specific traits, Wahiwa Aloy. I think him falling to Baltimore, I think, is a really good fit for a team that doesn't have a shortstop in the pipeline.
Right.
They had Anthony Servideo, and that hasn't really meshed out to this point.
Yep.
Jackson's moved to second. They don't really have a shortstop prospect to step into what is a quote-unquote young core.
Yep.
Now, the Baltimore draft as a whole is another thing. But I love this pick. Because, again, you're getting a bat-forward shortstop that's proven he can still handle playing defensive shortstop.
Right.
There's a ton of strong, we'll say, defensive minds in that Baltimore system that are going to kind of hone those skills. I know there's quote-unquote holes in his game. I didn't see a ton of them. I was stunned he fell as late as he did. I thought a team, I don't know, Seattle-ish would have snapped him up if they had the chance after their Cade Anderson pick. But again, Baltimore just had a loaded first, 40 picks?
Yeah.
And I think they crushed it on that part at least.
Yeah. I think Wahiwa Aloy falling to Baltimore in that slot, what was it, like 31? 31? Yeah, 31 was egregious. And I think the only knock that you could give him is that his swing and miss rate on balls in the zone is higher than average. But when he puts the ball in play, good night. And then the speed to back it, he's a 5-tool player. That was crazy. So I agree with that pick, Dowdy.
From watching just some of his games, it feels like the swing and miss in zone is because he's hunting certain pitches in certain zones. It's not because he's not recognizing things. You saw it in the College World Series. He swung and missed at how many heaters at the top because he was looking for the one slider at the bottom, reminiscent of like a Manny Ramirez approach. He gets the one slider at the bottom and he hammers it off the wall.
Yep.
Like those are the type of things that as he starts to learn pitching theory a little bit more, I see it taking off and there being less swing and miss with more damage done.
Absolutely. Because, when I think his swing and miss rate, that's why they were referencing the swing and miss rate, not his strikeout rate. When he got 2 strikes and he needed to buckle down and just, to choke and poke or just try to make hard contact, he can. He sees the ball extremely well. But when he's ahead in the count, he's looking for his and he's going to swing 100% and nothing less. And it causes him to miss that 100% swing several times if it's not the exact pitch in the exact location that he's guessing. So, crazy work. Clontsy, what say you?
Again, mine's the chalk pick. Dowdy already threw the name out there, but just because the organization develops pitchers well, as we've seen, Cade Anderson falling to number 3 in Seattle.
Steal.
Yeah. Honestly, at that point, when I saw the first 2 picks come in, it was, what are we doing? Like, you just gave the Empire another Darth Vader, essentially.
That's it.
So on that note, I'm very intrigued how the conversation went in Seattle of do we take yet another top tier pitcher or do we gamble a little bit and take Ethan Holiday?
Yeah.
At what point did it go, let's take the more for sure bet. Let's take the higher floor, slightly lower ceiling, because he doesn't even factor into the top 2 in that rotation.
No.
Like, he could be unbelievable and still not be a top 2 guy in that rotation.
Yep.
Right.
What I do love is it gives them the freedom now to
Make a trade
this offseason or even late in this year, start dealing some pitching away.
Right.
Yep.
Whether that's a Castillo, a Hancock, I think Wu, Miller, and Gilbert are untouchable. Kirby, maybe.
Right.
That rotation is just disgusting, and
Yeah.
I agree. I think it just gives them an opportunity to build some added depth in the best case scenario. I mean, at a certain point as an organization, you got to look at what you need versus what the value is that you have in front of you, what the value is on the table.
Yep.
Like, I'll get into it a little bit later, but like, in my opinion, did Baltimore need both Ike Irish and Caden Bodine? No, but the value that they got and those two guys still being on the board when their picks rolled around, and Wahiwa Aloy, why would you not?
Yeah.
Why would you not? You've got Adley Rutschman in the bigs, but I mean, ultimately, you can, like, if these guys turn out to be studs and they turn out to be the next Adley or the next big stud behind the plate, then all of a sudden you've got trade leverage and you can reset the cycle with guys that you have control over and they're contracted over for 6 years while they're in the bigs.
And those two guys alone give you a little bit of freedom to hear, okay, what do we got? What do you want, Bradley?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you got on Basalo? It gives you that freedom where you can at least take in offers.
Yeah.
That there's still a chance that Irish winds up being an outfielder.
That
100%,
was
100%.
Won't be surprised at all.
No.
Looking at the splits too. I think he played more games in outfield than he did at catcher this past season. So
watching Bodine behind the plate in the postseason, if you're going to pick a guy out of those two to be your defensive guy behind the plate, I'm picking Bodine every day of the week. I think Irish's upside is higher hitting, but I think Bodine is your quintessential backstop and field general behind the dish. I could not be more excited, but I mean, I agree, Clontsy, back to the Cade Anderson conversation. Did Seattle need him? Absolutely not. But at a certain point, you look at the value for what you can get and say, would we rather take a possible generational talent, Ethan Holiday, and wait for that to develop over the next 3 to 4 years? Or while we're on the precipice right now, do we take this extreme value that somehow fell to us at 3 and then have a shorter than not route to the bigs? And if he balls out, well, then, okay, we can add a lefty into the mix of this sea of unbelievable righties that we have in our rotation. Then all of a sudden we can leverage one of these arms and get some sorely needed offensive talent, all the while not losing any depth, just reload.
Right.
And on top of that, they are proven in Seattle that they can develop pitching. Yeah.
Yep.
We're pretty clear on that at this point.
Yep.
You give him a year and a half with Cade Anderson. Who's to say he's not the trade candidate?
Yeah.
Fair
it's
enough.
like, oh, hey, we need a corner bat. We need something. Okay, here, have our first rounder from last year. We really don't need him. Like, we have 5 starters as it is.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think the pick was a smart pick overall. I just would have loved to have been in the war room for that discussion.
I think that was a hand in glove fit and a great opportunity for Seattle. I think Cade Anderson is going to get developed very well by that organization. They're tried and true at that. I'm just praying he doesn't get bottlenecked. That's the only reason I didn't pick him for this best fit, because I was equating it solely to the smart move by the organization to take him, but the best situation for said player to come in and make an impact, barring their development and their skill coming out of college. Which
also, it led to the breaking of my heart that Ethan Holiday had to go to the Rockies.
Yeah.
Hold on. Table that for winners and losers.
And then it broke my heart when Max Ballou from Texas went to Colorado in the first pick in the second round. First pick in the second round. I'm like, oh, Max, I know you're gonna love hitting in that thin Colorado air, but good Lord, is that organization a dumpster fire? Any Hoosers.
And what coaching are you even going to get?
That's
who have they actually churned out?
Charlie Condon's gotten worse since he's gotten that organization.
Everybody has.
It's
Zach
not
Bean.
Yes.
Brent
It's not
Doyle.
a skill gap. It's not a skill gap. It's not a speed of the game thing. These guys are playing in the best conference in all of college baseball, and they're struggling hard, mightily, because of the lack of development and coaching. So don't get me started on the Rockies. Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me start it on that. But my best situation, I'm going to one Andrew Fisher, taken by the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'll tell you why. Rhys Hoskins been battling injury last 2 years, on and off. He's on the 10-day IL right now. He's Fisher's a third base, first base guy. He can play either corner. Likely going to be a 1B in the bigs, if I had to guess, based on lefty swing. He is a righty glove, but it's a lot easier to break through as a 1B or potential DH than it is as a 3B, especially with Milwaukee. But I just love more so his approach and how he would fit into that lineup right now, I think is what they're looking for. He's a power bat, yes, but he's a patient power bat. It's his approach. He doesn't strike out a ton. He walks a ton. Let me read some numbers for you here, Mr. Dowdy. So this past year at the University of Tennessee, hit 341. Great average for you there, Clontsy.
Yep.
Great average. 25 dingers, 63 walks to only 40 strikeouts on the year. He had a 670 slugging percentage and a 497 on base percentage. Had a very, very impressive year. That tells me, I think he's going to make an immediate impact. I really do. Guys in the Tennessee lineup, they went through a rut. We talked about it a little bit on one of our podcast episodes of, Tennessee, they play with a lot of fire. They play with a lot of swagger. It puts a target on your back. It means the highs are highs and the lows are really low. Even when that team was low and nobody else was producing, he didn't stop hitting. And I think him going to Milwaukee in an organization where they have their veteran guys, but they're not shy on pulling up prospects and giving them their shot. And they're good at developing offensive talent. So I like Andrew Fisher. I think he's in the bigs in the next 12 to 18 months.
Wow.
I
think the most important part of what you said was the strike zone control.
Yep.
Yes, the juice is what it is. Again, Tennessee, a little bit of a launching pad. So is Milwaukee. The fit kind of stays there. But the fact that he's walking more than he's striking out tells me he has an approach. He's staying in said approach, even if it's to cut it loose.
Yep.
He's staying within the plate on that approach. Those are numbers you don't see a lot in college, just controlling the zone wise.
Mm-hmm.
I like that pick.
I was going more for the situation than I was I think Milwaukee got a great pick, 20th overall. I think it was a smart pick for him, but I think they're going to buy a lot of stock in developing him and getting him up soon. And I think he's going to produce. So that was my pick.
I think a common denominator that you're going to see, and it factored into who I thought the winners and losers were, but even due to what you said to where first base is an issue in Milwaukee, even if it's not Fisher, you look at who's already in the system. Tyler Black is one. Blake Burke, that drafted last year for another. You now have the flexibility, like we talked about with Baltimore. If you're that close or you think you're a piece away, you love the deadline because I can part with one or two of these guys and I still have an answer for the future right. So again, that's something I looked at kind of going through the whole process of who really won and lost here as well, just because there's no Paul Skeens in this draft.
Sure. And Milwaukee's best case scenario is Rhys Hoskins comes back from injury and just balls out,
right,
and plays extremely well. Because at that point, they can either look to shed, depending on how Fisher's performing, how they want to progress. They can shop him and entertain offers for him, or they can say we're just going to keep him and we can entertain because Hoskins has 3B experience too, and see what we want to do on the corners, and ultimately there have options. But Fisher gives you a left-handed bat.
God forbid, too, that you're able to rotate DH and just whoever has the hot hand with that as well, and be a luxury to have.
Go with who's your better defensive first baseman.
Right.
So,
okay. We already kind of hinted at some of them, but we'll get in and make a concrete answer on this. So, biggest winner and loser for the draft.
All right. Do we want to hammer biggest winner and loser, or circle biggest winner and then circle biggest loser?
Let's do winner and loser all in one.
All right. You mind if I lead us off?
Go for it.
Despite the figure skater's physique and make a wonderful leadoff hitter, man. I'm going to start with the biggest winner first. And I was laughing earlier as Mr. Dowdy was talking about Wahiwa, and he mentioned Baltimore as a whole on the draft. Hot take, I have him as one of my winners.
I do too.
And the biggest reason why, not the draft in its entirety, for their first 3 picks. The value that they got in the first 3 picks. Again, what do they need right now in the bigs? They need arms. They really need arms in the bigs. Are you going to get that by signing collegiate arms? Are they going to be ready to go unless by this postseason? Unless they're Skeens? Absolutely not. So what's the way? How do you go? How do you go about that? You get prospects that are phenomenal trade pieces, one, or phenomenal depth pieces that could allow you to hone them and develop them, and then trade your big league level talent to get even more return, all the while not losing your back end depth. And that's what Baltimore did. They just reloaded. Especially at, I would say, the most important offensive or most important position in baseball, being behind the dish, being a catcher. They loaded up on the 2 best that you could get in the draft. I don't know how or why they fell and they got them, but they did. I mean, taking Ike Irish at, I think it was the 19th pick. Okay, I didn't see Irish going top 10 overall, but phenomenal pick at that. Having Bodine fall to the 30th pick, and then especially Wahiwa Aloy falling to the 31st pick, those 3 picks alone, I'm like, I couldn't find somebody else that got better value than Baltimore did, certainly across the board, but certainly out of their first 3 picks. And then my loser on the other hand was God, and I hate picking on them because we pick on them so much. The Los Angeles Angels. What a horrific draft. So they decided to take the bold strategy. They could have gone, most people were saying, if Kate Anderson doesn't go 1, he's definitely going 2. They opted for savings with Bremner to take that and sign him below slot to offer that money to later round picks. And they were all high school guys that they did. I don't know if they're leaning in on just the full rebuild. They had a very pitcher heavy and a very high school player heavy draft. But I thought that was very bold. I mean, the one shining star, I guess, out of it would be Chase Shores. Like, I could see Shores making an impact and having a short road to the bigs, but I didn't put him as my best situation because ultimately he's still got to pitch for that team and that organization. I mean, you're not locking and loading yourself at all to have some immediate talent in the outfield to maybe kind of do what Boston or what Baltimore's doing and reload to where you can shop a Trout and see what you could get in return for them. They didn't do any of that. I just thought it was a very very Colorado type draft from them. Wasn't a fan at all. They were my biggest loser.
Okay, I'll co-sign on one of them because I did have it as the biggest winner as well. I had the Orioles as one of, if not the biggest winner. Through that.
There's 3 of them.
Okay, yep. Dowdy's there as well. Part of what factored into that for me, though, too, is thinking about the free agent class coming up to where we've established pitching's pretty thin. You've got Framber Valdez, you've got Zach Gallen, and then not much past that. You're also going to probably lose Ryan Mountcastle in free agency, I believe, who's hurt right now. So I'm thinking of this as, okay, Adley Rutschman, Sam Basello, what are the chances they ask one of them to pick up a first base glove and they do the opposite of what Devers did and train a first baseman rather than try to go get one out of the market? If the bat's that good, you have the flexibility and the time really to do that now while still being able to deal from the depth of Ike Irish, Bodine, whoever it would be. So that, again, it's kind of what we talked about earlier. You have the flexibility and the ability to create answers for the holes that you see coming up. And I refuse to believe, just with the talent on the roster, that the Orioles are what we're looking at right now. They are not this bad. There's too much young talent there. They have to do something in the offseason to get back into the game, get competitive, and it's get arms for the most part. And we've already talked about, the injury bugs hit, but you're going to have to go get pieces this offseason. And since you don't really have a whole lot in the pipeline to come up and make that splash, you're going to have to go do it yourself. So they're set up to do that beautifully, I think. 100%. Will they is a whole other question.
Will they?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Dowdy. Oh no, you got to give us your worst. Give us your worst, Clontsy.
Okay, I have an honorable mention for the win too that you guys are probably going to fight me on, but let me get it out there. Let me explain it, and then I'll go into the worst. But an honorable mention for a decent draft, the Colorado Rockies.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Elaborate.
Ethan Holiday.
Steele at 4.
Yes.
Steele at 4. Ethan Holiday is the only high schooler they took in the draft. The rest of them are college. So suddenly I chalk this up as, okay, let's get guys up that we can maybe potentially develop a serviceable competitive product sooner rather than later. That was my first take.
Okay.
And then second, 14 of the 21 picks they made were pitchers, but pitchers where the fastball was the dominant pitch. So for guys that can't pitch in Colorado, it looks like they are at least making the effort to try to develop a solution to the problem. These aren't guys that are heavy breaking ball or relying that heavy on it at this point in the game. Maybe, just maybe, they are trying to right the wrong and start to develop something that is way more competitive than what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
So,
to your point, Dylan Crooks in the 15th round. Dylan Crooks out of OU. Extreme value. Just aggressively pound the damn zone pitchers.
So I can read it on Dowdy's face too. Absolutely. It deserves all the scrutiny in the world as far as their ability to actually develop arms and players as a whole. But just in case, if things start to look good for the Rockies or they start to dump some money into player development, stats, the data, whatever these guys need to get better, it may have started right here, is what I'm thinking.
Dowdy the entire time had the, all right, I'm going to let you finish face on. Like,
right.
What do we got? What do we got? 12 man.
I could not agree more on the Ethan Holiday pick.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I was about
to
Simon cowed me.
Fell into their lap, and it might have been the best pick of the first round, realistically. Like, even if Holiday somehow turns into a gigantic flop, you took the best player in the draft, talent-wise. The kid hit over 600 last year in high school baseball. The guy that went first overall hit like 430 in the same high school league. So let's just make sure we're gathering here. The problem with the Rockies pitching draft picks. We took velo and fastball heavy.
What doesn't play well in that park?
What moves less and goes further in a high altitude ballpark? Point in case, Chase Dollander. Point in
Breaking
case,
balls.
Victor Vodnik. These guys, you put them elsewhere, they're probably very successful. Because, again, Dollander's short little breaking ball probably gets more swing and miss. His heater probably has a little bit more life to it that he's not getting caught. Well, now he's back in AAA because everything's getting caught, barreled. Vodnik, same situation. The Braves, he was the uber prospect. Sitting 97 to 100, blowing everybody away. Gets to Colorado, all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, well, it's 97 to 100, but it's a little flat. Like, the life has died down on the heater. I think Colorado as a whole needs to shift how they look at pitching. You can't look as a complete pitcher. You can't look for velo. You need to look for outliers. That is the only thing that's going to play there at this point. You need to look for guys that throw things that nobody else throws, that don't really make sense. Think of Alcantara's slider that goes the wrong way. You need to somehow start finding those guys in college that are the quote-unquote freaks, even if they just have this one pitch. Then you work on the heater to support it or the changeup to support it. The last guy that was really successful as a pitcher in Colorado was Ubaldo Jimenez. What was his freak stuff at the time? 100 miles an hour and a nasty split.
Nasty.
When did that go out of style? When did we stop trying to draft guys that, okay, they have one freak pitch?
Yeah.
And I get, you can't use a first 3-round pick on a guy with a freak pitch. That's what rounds 6 through 10 are for. Take a gamble. Change up what you're evaluating. Everybody wants to look for velo because, yeah, velo's great. Obviously, with Colorado's metrics and the way they run things, it ain't working. We got to right the ship somehow.
Ultimately, I don't disagree, but what Colorado needs, and they're just not out there anymore, they need Tom Glavins. They need guys that live off precision, the Trevor Williams type, that they can dot it, live off the black, and they're high command. But
pitchers,
baseball just
question mark.
Yeah, baseball's just not tailored to that anymore. So I guess I almost felt for him in a situation of what are you supposed to do, like in that scenario.
One thing I will give Colorado, besides Ethan Holiday, I did like the pick of Antoine Jean, not because he's a U of H guy, but because exactly what you just said. He pitches. Mm-hmm. He punches people out, not because of pure stuff. You look at the stuff and it's like, okay, he's 90, 93 for the most part with like decent ride. He's got like a short little slider and slightly bigger curveball. Okay, he's got a decent changeup, but he pitches. He executes pitches. He throws them where they need to be.
Yep.
That's the kind of guy that all of a sudden you're riding the ship in Colorado.
Yep.
I think you swung and missed on too many of those pitcher picks because you were going after velo or you were going after, it looks like it rides. Not going to play. It's not the same as the Phillies drafting Gagewood. That makes sense.
Fair enough. It caught my attention. Just the mentality there of like, okay, we're
trying something new. Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Dowdy, we know who your winner is. You signed off
let
on
me throw my loser out there real quick because of what in the Rockies too. But based off the mentality of our window is open now, we need to be filling out rosters and developing competitors now. I gave the biggest loser in the draft to the Washington Nationals. Outside of Eli Willits, they drafted a ton of high schoolers. You got CJ Abrams ready to go. Mackenzie Gore is setting the world on fire.
James Wood
is a dog. You've got all these pieces up here ready to go. Okay, your window is opening, if not open already. You're running out of prospects. Like Brady House came out, he came up. He's holding his own. What's past that?
Mm-hmm.
High schoolers?
Yep.
Could not agree more.
Okay.
Nationals are my big loser. The Eli Willits pick, I don't love it. I understand they're saving money. I understand they're taking projectability. I understand they're going with a 17 instead of an 18-year-old because apparently that's going to change everything about his profile of being a slap hitter to driving the baseball. Not how that works, FYI. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you've seen it from Ethan Holiday. He absolutely juices baseballs. That's not the style of hitter Eli Willits is, which is okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just don't act like you're drafting the best prep shortstop at 1-1 when everybody can see you're not.
Yeah, right.
To that point, what are we doing? Why are we drafting a ton of high schoolers instead of, I don't know, kind of like the Orioles went, or similar with the Rockies, where we're at least drafting guys we think are going to move up quick enough to help the window we have opening. Like you just touched on, Mackenzie Gore, CJ Abrams, James Wood. I'll even throw Keibert Ruiz in there. You have a young core of talent to a point that it's like, okay, you can see a window starting to open. Dylan Cruz, I truly believe, will start to figure it out. There's another young bat that's going to be in the lineup. DJ Hers has had flashes of being really good. What are we doing?
Yep.
You're telling me you couldn't sprinkle in, I don't know, six out of the 10 first 10 rounds going college? Just like, hey, let's take best college player available because we can plug them in somewhere.
Yep.
Yep.
It's puzzling. And then you look at a team like the Red Sox who went out there and like, okay, what does our big league team need right now? Pitching? Let's take a bunch of high-end college pitching.
Yep.
And hey, if we hit on 2 of the 15, great. Like, just doesn't even make sense. I don't get it.
I agree. Great minds thinking alike, gentlemen. We're all kind of overlapping in thought here a little bit. all noticed the same things.
Okay, here's a serious question for you.
Okay.
Is there any chance Gage Wood is in the big league bullpen for the Phillies by the end of this year?
I hope so. I don't think so, but I wish I had hoped so.
Oh boy, can you imagine? You roll that out in the 6th.
No, because we have to talk about the deadline at some point too.
Yeah.
So
foreshadowing. Stay tuned.
We will cover that in the not so distant future. But is it out of the realm of possibility? No, but I don't think they should.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let him ride.
What's the downside to it? Again, if he proves through AA, AAA that his numbers are good enough.
Oh, if he proves his numbers are AA and AAA and the proof of concept's there, absolutely.
I'm saying numbers are good enough. He's got 3 to 4 ERAs in those two, and he's not walking the house.
I think it's going to end up being less about what he's done and more about what Philadelphia is doing. And I think, like, if they are dying for depth in the bullpen and he's put up the numbers, then yeah, I could definitely see a call up, but that's really tough to ask. Granted, he threw a no-hitter in Omaha on the biggest stage. Like,
right.
You talk about pressure. Obviously, it doesn't affect him, but throwing him in as a August, September call up, and ask him to play into September and October, potentially going into November, like, that's a different demon altogether. And I'm not gonna talk down his fastball because he has a plus super high spin rate, like elevates to the top of the zone. It's getting by guys, like even at the big league level. But who are the guys that they'd potentially be playing? Is he going to get that fastball by an Ohtani?
Can anybody? Scoob will even win slider.
Yeah. Well, my whole point, my long-winded answer is just to say it's not going to be about his performance, in my opinion. I think it's going to be more on where Philadelphia is and what they need, and if they're dying in the bullpen. Because selfishly, I'd like to see him be a starter.
Yes, and
period. I would
think
rather
it's
have him wait
to do both.
Yeah,
I think he could come up as a reliever this year, have a longer spring training, and then go, hey, we're building you back up as a starter. You're going to go start in AA. Mm-hmm. I know you've had a taste. We're okay with that. We want you to be a starting pitcher because we need someone to step in for Nola sooner rather than later.
And I think you've got a case to where if he does get called up in that like August, September spot, he get a spot start randomly, kind of an opener situation. He goes 3 or 4 innings. He got like kind of be your long reliever, as it were, out of the bullpen to come in early innings and mop up to get experience. But then you start weaning him into some high pressure situations if he gets called up. Personally, I would like to see him ride the minors this year, develop, even if he's balling out, and then come back, make a splash in spring training, make the opening day roster in the 5-man rotation in Philadelphia. Because I think that's just going to poise him for a much stronger debut and initial splash in the bigs. That's me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but to be able to be on the postseason roster, you have to debut before September.
I think you just have to be with the organization.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Certain date.
So still, assuming playoff baseball starts October 1st, can he show you everything you need to see in 2.5 months?
He could show me everything I need to see in 1 month, honestly.
Okay.
Something you also have to think about too is his workload that he had this year with Arkansas. Like how much he started the year. He started the year hurt. Now it wasn't a severe injury, obviously, because he came back rather quick, but it's just something else to monitor to keep on the back burner. But the longer they got into the further they got into the season, the more they started riding him. And I mean, he would go extended outings, and he threw like 120 something pitches or something in his no hitter. Now nobody's going to doubt or scoff at Arkansas for not pulling him when he's got a no on the line, but like that's just to look at that wear and tear. You look at how much LSU rode Skeens. I think that played a part into what his usage was in the minors in the Pirates organization until they started to really stretch him out after he had some rest. That could play a factor too.
Not gonna lie though, him coming out of the pen to Rooster, Allison Chains or whatever would be pretty. It it would instill some feels for me. But we digress. Boys, anybody else from the draft you want to shout out before we get out of here?
I just want to thank NIL for ruining the draft. That's what I really want to do. To watch top tier high school talent days before the draft go, yeah, don't bother drafting me. I'm going to school so I can get paid there. It's frustrating, man. There's at least 2 or 3 guys from the Houston area alone that I can look at and go, man, like those are guys that probably should have gone straight to pro ball. Like they have that skill set, they have the maturity, but NIL is the reason they're not doing it.
Yep. The talks have already started too, just because I'm on the, of course, like all the UT message boards and forums and Reddit pages and all that fun stuff. The top number 2 overall prospect going into the 2026 draft behind the Rock, whatever his name is from UCLA, the shortstop.
Mm.
The number 2 overall. I don't know if you've ever heard Grady Emerson.
Yep.
He's committed to Texas. He's like the prize recruit. He's already slated, like mock drafts have him going 2nd overall. And Texas is
throwing the bag at him.
Yeah.
Hey, how does $8 million sound?
Like guaranteed money, generational stuff. Like,
yeah,
make a major league bag to come play with us for 3 years, but you have to stay for 3 years to collect it, kind of deal.
We'll throw in an Aston Martin in the process.
Oh no, it's all Lambos in Austin. There's a big NIL. There's a big NIL pool for Lamborghini Austin.
It's exhausting. Okay. I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it because I would have never sniffed it with being the pitcher I was in my role. But like, I mean, at that point, I was like, I'd have taken an F-150 XLT. Like, I'm not asking for a Lambo over
Give
here,
me a
man.
scooter.
Like, at that point,
begging for a bird.
That's what. Oh, I was begging for one of those Honda Ruckus scooters. Like, UT's campus is so small and in like it's only 40 acres in total, but it's all around like hilly and undulated. Having one of those little moped scooters to burn around campus and park right by your building was clutch. That's all I would have wanted. That and like a platinum card to Raising Cane's. I would have been set with those 2 NIL deals. Like, that's all I need. I would have saved so much money having those 2 things. But anyway, I digress. No closing thoughts on my end.
All good, boys. Thanks for hanging out. Stay tuned. We will have more stuff coming to you on the trade deadline, playoff picture as that unfolds, just the rest of the season along the way. So thanks, guys.
Catch you on a flippity flip.
There he goes.